So friends, I thought it was really important that we talked about home warranties. And so I have Alyssa with Fidelity Home Warranty. She'll introduce herself and her experience. And again, we just thought we'd have a good conversation about really the importance of home warranties. And really how does that help the consumer at the end? Why it's important as brokers that you have a good broker if they're using home warranties as well.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what thought it'd be real helpful with our buyers and even with our sellers, because that's something that you taught me.
Yeah, I'm going to go over sellers coverage
sellers too,
for sure.
So we can talk a little bit about that. So yeah, if you'd like to just introduce yourself to the folks.
Okay. My name is Alyssa Na, and I work for Fidelity National Home Warranty. And in March was my 11th year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because I know we worked together since about all this time.
Yeah.
So boy, time flies.
I know.
Wow.
I know.
Okay.
And it's been I can't say a joy all the time, but it's been fun and interesting and building relationships with people like you.
Yeah.
And Carol and Penny and everybody here. So yeah, it's been a joy for the most part.
So I guess kind of just general high level of what is a home warranty and what does it do?
So a home warranty, I get a lot of questions about, well, let me just say this. In California, 95% of the real estate transactions use a home warranty.
Okay.
And in Washington, the usage is now about 33%, but when I started, it was 22, yeah. We aren't in every single county, but we are in the western side of the state for the most part, all the way up to Bellingham. So when I explain a home warranty to agents, brokers, homeowners, sellers, buyers, I say these exact words like all the time, like probably 50 times a week. A home warranty covers major systems and appliances within the foundation of the home that fail due to normal wear and tear. So it's really important to remember that within the foundation of the home, there are a few caveats, like if the water heater happens to be in a shed outside the home, or swimming pool, outdoor kitchen, if the garage is detached and the water heater is in there. So there are some caveats, but major systems and appliances. So think things that have like mechanisms and garage door, garbage disposal, all the appliances, plumbing stoppages, toilets, faucets, pretty much everything that it has got a little bit of a mechanical function to it. Nothing structural. I do get asked a lot if sprinkler systems are covered.
Okay.
Sadly, no. Windows, no. So nothing structural. No. So the garage door is not included, but the garage door opener is, because just think structural and then major systems and appliances.
Okay.
Yes.
I know the reason that I like home warranties for my buyers is the boogeyman.
Yeah.
Like that's why we have good inspectors. Is you find the boogeyman, but once in a while there's still a boogeyman you don't know that's going to happen.
They hide really well.
You get these little surprises.
Yeah.
And it's sort of like you buy a new car and all of a sudden the radio stops working.
Yeah.
So, something like that.
So a lot of it has to do with usage, and things just aren't made the way that they used to be.
Yep.
So usage, and there's some stats here. So when a buyer moves into a home, there's a 67% chance that one thing will go wrong, and possibly even two. And so that could be something as small as a plumbing stoppage or a leaky kitchen faucet, or it could be something as huge as the furnace goes out.
Okay.
The AC
right.
go out.
Yep.
So usage, meaning the prior owners could have been really hard on the systems and on their last leg, and their last leg gets swept out from under the appliance when the new owners are in, or the appliance is at the end of life expectancy, which is anywhere from like 7 to 12 years depending upon what it is. And the new owners could be really hard on the systems, the systems and the appliances are like, ow, what are you doing to me?
I
want,
yeah.
Families dogs for furnaces, the dog hair, dishwashers,
Yep.
dishes,
Yep.
the refrigerator getting opened up,
Yep.
a ton.
Teenagers, non-teenagers.
Yes.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
you just don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
yeah.
I wish I had a crystal ball, and I say that all the time too. I'm like, I wish I had a crystal ball, but I don't. And a home warranty is an insurance type product, so you
Yep.
buy it just in case
Okay.
something happens, because it's going to offset the costs of what you could be paying into the thousands of dollars. It's just better to be safe than sorry. Peace of mind is super important with a home warranty. I've had my home warranty on my home since I bought it 10 years ago, and I've had to use it a couple times. And I don't really know who to call. I don't know who to trust.
Right.
And do I have an extra couple $1,000s laying around? Maybe, maybe not. And then it's just peace of mind.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because
Whether you use it or not, it doesn't matter, because you'll have peace of mind either way, whether you use it or you don't use it.
right, warranties. Well, that's what I would like.
Yeah.
When we buy things at Amazon or Best Buy, you can choose a little warranty for the just in case.
Yeah.
And does that make sense?
Yeah.
I think water heaters is always kind of interesting to me, because now inspectors, they have to call out between like 7 and 9 years. They say that is the lifespan.
Yeah.
Though I've been in houses that have beautiful ones that are on 25 years. I
yeah.
found an original one, 1968 house, that still had the original cast iron.
Oh.
And it worked, and it was amazing.
I
So,
wonder do you have pictures? I want to see those pictures.
okay, I'll send you the pictures. But what was interesting is it's like it works until it doesn't.
Yeah.
And for buyers and sellers, it's so frustrating. And on the seller side, it's like, it's only 7 years old and it's working great. Why do we? And they'll ask. This is kind of what they'll ask. Hey, replace the water heater, and we'll say, you know what? How about a home warranty that will cover it just in case?
Yeah.
Because you probably have another 10.
Yeah.
Because
you could
that's
possibly
what we
have
find.
another 10. You just don't know. And with any home buyer, they're already probably moving expenses and selling their own home with the expenses of that. They want to make sure that when they're moving into a home, that everything's going to be great.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you can't guarantee that.
Right.
Wish you could.
Yeah.
So when an inspector does call out a appliance for being old, Fidelity Home Warranty does not discriminate on age.
Okay.
So there are 50-year-old water heaters and 50-year-old furnaces out there that are still ticking.
Yep. Yep.
And you just would like that home warranty in place when it does happen.
Yeah.
And a home warranty is also great for liability. I don't really like to use that word a lot because it's scary. But when a buyer does move in and the dishwasher or system or appliance breaks, some of them get really upset and threaten.
Yes.
You should have known, or you knew, you weren't disclosing that to me. And when a buyer does have an issue in the home when they first moved in, or even months down the road, they're more than likely, you as the buyer's agent, they're going to call you. What do I do?
Yes.
Who do I call? And they may not remember that they have a home warranty, but I have a magnet and I have these cute gift certificates and stuff that we can give them, so it's an easy reminder. They call you as the buyer's broker. What do I do? I'm panicked. I've got 10 kids and I need to have my dishwasher. Well, you're going to say, I made sure that you got a home warranty.
Right.
And then they're going to make a claim really easily. A tech's going to come out and do the diagnosis. Is it going to be a repair or a replacement?
Yeah. Okay. All of a sudden, hey, I'm having a good time, and then turn on my faucet. Water is now cold. Water heater blows out. What then? Me as my buyer, if I have warranty, what's that process look like?
So you can call in 24/7. You can go online 24/7. I help a lot of buyers when they first move in because they're unpacking and just a lot's going on,
Right,
and it's just easier for me to just do it for them, and then and I don't mind doing that, and I'll answer a lot of questions for them too. So online or phone.
Okay.
That's available. Both are available 24/7.
Oh, nice. Okay.
There's a $95 service fee, aka deductible.
Okay.
If the tech has to come back because a part was ordered, that $95 is not going to be charged again.
Okay.
And there's also what's called a recall period. So there's a 30-day recall period and a 90-day recall period. And the 30-day recall period is for parts and labor, and no service fee charged again. And then the 90 days, no service fee charged again, and it only covers parts. And then the homeowner or the buyer would be responsible for the labor. That's only if it's the same issue that keeps recurring.
That would be on furnace probably, like the furnaces sometimes become chronic.
Steve. So kitchen fridges are a pain in the buns, and kitchen fridges, because they have so many bells and whistles nowadays.
Right.
And the techs have a hard time diagnosing sometimes, or if they do fix something, then something else may go wrong, the following week. I know of ice makers and the water, drinking water dispenser, thank you, every year, clockwork.
Okay.
And so if any of the buyers have any questions, concerns, don't know what's going on, want to know what's going on, there's a denial that they need clarification on, or they don't agree, I demand that the buyer's agents, even if you represent a seller, call me, because I cannot help unless I don't know. And I have an assistant, an escalation support assistant, named Monique. I call her my Monique. She knows the contract by heart.
Okay.
She will jump in and talk with the consumer buyer, keep you updated, keep me updated, and that way you and I can keep doing what we are supposed to be doing, and she can handle with kid gloves, sometimes even overturn a denial. So I tell agents, I'm like, just tell your buyers or sellers, demand them to call me.
Okay.
If they have any inkling of, I wonder.
That's what it's gonna happen.
And I love that,
Okay.
because it's just more relationship building. I talk to homeowners almost some on a yearly basis when they renew, because I think they probably like me, but they also call and they're like, how do I renew? And I can't take credit cards, so they have to call the 800 number, but it's nice to hear from them, and just relationship building with the homeowners, the buyers, and just building trust. And that's one of the big, huge differences between Fidelity Home Warranty and every single other home warranty company out there. Our business paradigm, with my Monique. So the business paradigm, she will take care of service things.
Okay.
And I will stay in my lane with sales stuff. They don't give us access to all the service records, which is probably a good thing. But she is wonderful. She does it all day, every day. Okay. She likes to do it. And she gives the bad news sometimes, but she also is like, it's covered even more than you thought. I'm so glad you asked, because the tech's report was missing something, and it would not have been known had the homeowner not questioned.
So communication, the good old fashioned, let's talk.
Yes, it's easy, and it's
AI might not have the answers. Let's talk to more people. It's
not a bother at all.
Right.
And that's one of the services that, luckily, working for Fidelity Home Warranty, we can give you and your customers. So even your buyers. So even 9 months down the road, we are with them the whole time they have a contract, or I should say I am with them as a contact to ask questions, help, anything. Yep. And, and usually, when it's closing, the lender goes away, you'll talk to the inspector again, escrow, they'll send you money here and there and take some more money from you here and there.
Sure.
But I am with you, and that's something that, it's kind of cheesy to say, but our customer service level it's like through the roof.
Yeah. No,
because we can.
Yeah, I feel it.
Always.
One email and everything gets taken care of, and I just know it all happens and it gets to escrow, and it all just nice and smooth as part of the process.
Yes, yeah. So ordering as an agent, I love when you email me the purchase and sale and all that kind of stuff because it keeps us in touch.
Yeah.
Some people like to do it on their own. They, which is fine. I have to follow up with them to stay connected. But, we're connected all the time.
We've done this for a while.
Yeah. Yes,
So it works out real good. It's like, because again, I just know you got a great team.
Yeah.
Again, and that's part of the experience of, we've been doing this where we know a good team of people to make sure it's smooth for our buyers.
Yes.
And that's just huge.
Yes. Home warranties don't cover absolutely everything.
Yeah. So let's talk about that for a minute. So what are some things it doesn't cover?
So it doesn't cover pre-existing conditions. So everything has to be in good working order at the time of contract start date. And when I say contract start date, seller's coverage is from today for you, ordering today until closing. So that's one contract term. The buyer's starts at closing, goes for a year. So this is pre-existing conditions. If something is not working, it was not working before closing. It had broke sometime between the inspection and because it was working during inspection. I'm like, that's great. I love that it was working during inspection.
Okay.
But it has to be in good working order at the time of contract start date, which is closing day for the buyers.
Okay. So sort of like you flip a switch and the light doesn't work.
Yeah.
Well, that'd be the simple one. You just change the bulb.
Yeah.
But
if
but if ahead of time, basically, hey, the light worked before, now it doesn't.
Yeah.
Interesting. So there's that
and that's that's the bad news of it. But other than that,
we'll talk about seller's coverage. But okay, so it doesn't cover pre-existing conditions.
It doesn't cover pre-existing conditions. It doesn't cover secondary damage. Say the water dispenser in the water dispenser or the dishwasher is leaking, water heater's leaking, and it damaged the floor. Secondary damage is not covered.
Okay.
A home warranty only covers the actual appliance or system, not anything surrounding it. The caveat to that is a leak, like a plumbing leak.
Okay.
Excuse me, a plumbing leak. It's gonna, we're not gonna know it's there unless it damages the wall or the floor or whatever.
Right.
So you get access to that portion where the leak is at, and then it gets put to a rough finish. But if it is above and beyond, like the leak has been going on for a long time and they weren't at the home, like say they went on vacation.
Snowbirds.
Yep. Yes, and the leak has done a ton of damage. Home warranty will only take care of that. So we'll take care of the leak, and then homeowner's insurance more than likely if it's a big enough.
To take care of the rest.
Yeah, do the math.
So so you have a little
And then we do have roof coverage, which I've been selling quite a bit of, especially after our storms that we just had.
We're still having,
a lot of people were calling and wanting to place claims on their roof, and I was like, sorry, you don't have roof coverage, so call me. I vet the house, and I will make suggestions. And depending upon how much you're wanting to spend, sometimes there's seller credit left. Sometimes there's a couple $1,000s of seller credit left, and we can get a 2-year home warranty.
Okay. So part of the so let's talk about the different levels.
Okay.
Because I know you were, let's talk about the different levels different levels of what home warranties are and can do.
Okay. So there's standard coverage. So a home warranty can cover single family homes above 5, pretty much every type of domicile.
Okay.
Casitas, ADUs, duplexes, triplexes, condos, mobile homes, even.
Yep. Okay.
Yes. And so the tier 1, like bottom coverage is it's called standard.
Yep.
For a single family home, it's $375, and for it goes up from there for huge homes, and then for the condos and the mobile homes, it's a little bit less. So we'll just stick with this. Let's just stick with the single family home prices. Yep. $375 for standard coverage, and then the next level, there's 2 names for the level 2. It's standard plus and comprehensive plus. Standard Plus is if the house does not have any cooling,
Okay.
$480, still under $500.
Okay.
The other Standard Plus, comprehensive, take that out. The other one is Comprehensive Plus, and that's if the house does have cooling, and that's $510. So it's just $30 more.
Okay.
So that's water heater, furnace, the kitchen appliances like the stove up the cooktop, the built-in microwave, the dishwasher. Does not include washer, dryer, kitchen, fridge, but those can be added.
Okay.
A la carte.
So you have your basics. So you got your basic.
Yeah, we got.
And then we basically have the add-on of air conditioning. It has air conditioning. Okay, and then we move into and you've got basic appliances.
Yeah. Yes. Basic appliance. That's a really
basic
good,
appliances.
Yes.
All right, and then the next level is
the
refrigerator.
Yep.
Washer.
So enhanced plan loops in the kitchen, fridge, and the washer dryer, and it also includes the pre-season HVAC tune-up and home improvement installation options. So it's a really, really good deal, and it's just $610. So it's not
extra $100. You get the furnace serviced again.
Yes.
Because hopefully it was done before you purchased.
Yeah.
But
you can also use the pre-season HVAC for the heat pump, the air conditioning.
Okay. So basically, just kind of depending how many bells and whistles the house has, you can just add some bells and whistles to get that protected. But what about pools and hot tubs?
So pool is an a la carte item, hot tub as well. It's $200.
Just an extra, okay.
An extra, we can add up to 4 additional fridges, ice makers.
Okay.
That fridge in the garage, the wine fridge downstairs in the game room.
Yep.
Outdoor kitchen, well pump,
okay.
75. Right. 100. Septic is 75.
Okay.
What else is there?
Side sewer?
No, on the side sewer.
Okay. There are separate policies I've heard out there about side sewers.
I refer a lot to HomeServe.
Yep.
They have their own little policy just for the sewer line. Yeah. And it's really affordable.
I was surprised how it was because we've done sewer line. We've had to replace sewer lines at 10 to 15 grand. Mine was about $7 when I had to do mine. so
HomeServe on that for sure. So no side sewer. Again, going back to just within the foundation of the home. So side sewer would not be
right.
Yeah.
Because that's right. It's within the connection. Yeah. So plumbing and electrical.
Plumbing and electrical covered.
So
outlets, ceiling fans, the control panel, that's not what's called. Electrical panel.
Yep.
And
So really
if an outlet
that's a pretty affordable kind of boogeyman deterrent.
Yeah. Boogeyman.
Yeah.
Plumbing stoppages are huge. And plumbing stoppages are a fun one to talk about because the snake, like my house is pretty small. The snake will go up to 125 feet from the access point, so like a clean out or you pull up a toilet. And it will go up to 125 feet from the access point. So it actually could reach like the middle of my yard.
Yeah.
So if the plumbing stoppage is in the middle of my yard, it'll be covered.
Okay.
But if it's a big, huge house, then that's not so...
So you got the teenager to clog the lower toilets.
Yeah. Yes. You can only use the lower toilets.
I thought it was interesting because you talked about how a house will change in usage, because that happened to one of my clients, some buyers that they decided they weren't going to do a home warranty, and the use of the house changed. It was just a young little, it was an older couple. They had raised their kids, so they used just a few. Just a few rooms in the house, really. And so then they moved on. Well, the buyers came in, and now you've got 5 adults using the house and showers at the same time and just really taxing the systems.
Yeah.
And sure enough,
water heater.
found a problem. We found a problem. And so I think some homeowners kicked in to help because it got pretty, I got pictures of things dripping down.
Oh, yeah.
So, basically there was a little faucet up in the shower that didn't get fixed quite right, come to find out, and then taxing the system ended up blowing it out, and now all of a sudden it's like, okay, that water should not be now dripping down the sidewall on our dining room. So those poor folks.
Not good.
No, that was kind of rough. they're amazing people that were able to work through it. And I think some homeowners probably helped out, but the home warranty, yeah, definitely a big deal.
I got a call from an agent yesterday, and she said it was a learning lesson for her, and she felt bad because she didn't insist that they get a home warranty. They took cash instead, and
Okay.
because the buyer did not want the home warranty, didn't see the value in it. Well, it's been closed. Literally, it was closed for like 2 or 3 days, and the water heater was leaking. And agent called and asked if that would be covered if they got a home warranty, and no, unfortunately not. Everything needs to be in good working order at the time of contract start date. Think about car insurance. You wouldn't buy a wrecked car,
Right.
or a sight unseen car,
Right,
and then expect insurance to pay for it after the fact. So agent said, well, this is a learning lesson for me. I feel bad. And I said, it's not your fault that she didn't want a home warranty. And agent said, well, I shouldn't have given her a choice.
Right. Yep.
$500 for a home warranty or $500 cash, and agent isn't even gonna offer that anymore. She's like, I'm just gonna do them every single time.
Yep.
Because it would have been covered. And I mean, the buyer might have $500 in her pocket, but that's gone.
Right. Yep. Quick nowadays, especially the service charges.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
So when it comes to, again, I think we talked a little bit about the water heater. So for an example, water heater blows out. All of a sudden you don't have any hot water. Just call the 800 number.
Yeah.
Or go online and go, I've got an issue.
Yeah.
24/7.
Yeah.
A technician comes out.
Yeah.
Assesses the issue.
Yep.
If it's fixable, they fix it.
Yep.
If it's not, then it would be replaced.
Yes.
And what kind of
Time frame?
does that usually
This is really important. Setting expectations.
Right.
It's an insurance type product, so it's not speedy.
Okay.
It's not an emergency service. If the buyer wants to pay the extra fees to get the plumber out there sooner, then they can out of their own pocket. We'll do everything that we can to get the soonest possible. But then again, the communication becomes really important. So active leak gets expedited. As soon as we get it, we're, dispatching, no questions asked. It's just, let's just do it. The first tech is going to respond, but that first tech isn't necessarily one that has the first available appointment. So what I tell agents and buyers when I do get the chance to talk to them is that you have to let me know if, you think maybe you could get something sooner. So what I do is I let Monique know, or I call into my secret bat line and say, hey, can you exhaust the rest of our techs to see if somebody is available sooner? More than likely, the situation that just happened with another furnace, it was a furnace, and somebody was able to come 5 days earlier. But I need to know this. It's up to the buyer to communicate with me or you and me, however they want to roll it.
We're all this together with them,
And then if a tech is still not, like if any of our in-network techs are still not available within a timely manner, the homeowners can go have Mr. Plumber go do it that, lives down the street. But it has to be a licensed plumber.
Okay.
And there needs to be proof of a licensed plumber fixing that issue.
Okay.
And then the buyer is going to be paying retail. Going to be paying you, plumber, up front. There's a little bit of paperwork to fill out. The plumber will talk to Fidelity Home Warranty on a line that it does get answered.
Yep.
So they're on site. They call and say, this is what's going on. Okay, approved. Got it, fixing it. The buyer pays, and then the buyer is going to get reimbursed at what Fidelity's cost would be.
Got it. Okay.
So it's not going to be the full amount by any means.
Yep.
Because retail and Fidelity Home Warranty prices, the reason why we're able to be in business and help out is because we get really great prices, discounted prices on everything. Even if when a dishwasher goes out, which isn't going to be any type of expeditious thing.
Right.
If they
Heaven
have,
forbid, we gotta wash dishes by hand.
they have, you'd be
like
surprised.
we had to when we were kids.
Oh, I have people panicking and getting pissed about a dishwasher, and I'm like,
Yes.
really?
Yeah, you're like, yeah. Here, grab some Dawn.
Please.
Here's how to do it.
Jeez Louise.
YouTube how to wash dishes by hand.
Seriously. Seriously.
It's funny. It's funny.
So if they have somebody that they absolutely love and trust and want to use and give
Yep,
the business to, they can use somebody out of network right off the bat. But they do need to make a claim first. Don't go and hire the person that you love, tech that you love, and have them come and fix and then make a claim. We have to have a claim first. You will not get reimbursed if you do that.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, good note, because
And it's in the contract.
the challenge, it always happens Friday at 6
Oh,
o'clock
yeah.
when everyone's coming
Yeah,
in.
I'm afraid to look at my phone. But actually,
Yeah.
it might be a good Friday.
Yeah, right. You know, it's going to be an awesome Friday. But it's all like families coming in Saturday. We're going to have a house full of people on the water heater tanks, and that's when it always happens.
Yeah.
And it's something big like the
Yeah.
water heater.
Yeah.
Or
the furnace.
it's the furnace, and it's going to be 10
Yeah.
degrees, which
Yeah.
we in Washington we can't handle that.
Right.
So
We cannot handle that.
we're whips, but.
Little side notes for furnace when they go out. I have the ability to. The buyer can go get a couple space heaters, and I can reimburse them up to $150
Oh,
because sometimes a part needs to be ordered,
right.
and there is no rushing that. I mean, if you want to pay for the rush, yes, but
There's still time.
that's still
That's
it's
past,
still
Right.
it's not genie.
Yeah.
So delays because of parts being ordered, there isn't anything that we can do. It's totally out of our control, and unfortunately. But space heaters, and then if a fridge goes out, you can go get a mini fridge, and I can reimburse them.
That's cool.
That's another thing that you just
So you would know.
just
I've done this for a long time, and I've
one
never
of
known to
the
do that. So thank you.
It's
Yeah.
another reason why
Great hack.
it's so important to call me.
Yes. Okay. Right.
Because so let me know.
Yeah. So that is a tech comes out. Again, there's that time.
Yeah, it's
You
repair.
once just do the claim first.
Yes.
If something's going on, you have to use someone. You get reimbursed a portion of out of network.
Yeah, I mean, it's not going to be penny on the dollar. It's going to be a lot more than that. But but you're going to get fixed, and that's the point of a home warranty is to offset the cost. You're getting reimbursed.
You're still getting support. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Still getting some
Even
money back.
some of it, right?
Yeah.
As opposed to you're not
It's
paying
better
full
than
retail.
nothing.
Even if you did retail, you're not
Yeah.
paying full retail.
Yeah, it's better than
It's
nothing.
Totally better than
And so diagnosis by the tech sends in their report through a portal, and then authorizations looks at it. We've got some in-house tradespeople that the techs that go out have to sometimes send in video pictures of what's going on, and then the tradespeople mark it as legit or, hey, I see another problem.
Okay.
So that's another awesome thing that we have.
So that's probably a good thing too, is if you have someone that that'll come in, say please video and photo document everything.
Yeah.
But make sure you have a claim number first.
Yes.
Before you call.
Make a claim
Before you call, or
first,
before the
please.
HVAC neighbor.
Yeah.
Contractor
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
before they come in.
Yeah, it's not a speedy process. That's not what it's
Yeah.
for.
Yep.
If that's what you're looking for, then I'm more than
Well,
enough.
I don't know any warranties that
Yeah.
Now some have, again, there is that feature though. I think that's probably the important thing about it is all warranties, they have that feature of you can use your own folks. It just won't be 100% reimbursement.
Yeah.
But again, it still offsets.
Yeah,
it's cheaper than what you would paid for if you didn't have it.
Yeah,
So
I get
that's pretty
asked a
powerful.
lot, well, what's the turnaround time, or when am I gonna get an appointment? I don't know what the tech schedules are. You're gonna have to, wait until they get a hold of you, because the tech is supposed to call the homeowner within 24 hours, business hours of making the claim online or calling in. That's a must. And if you don't hear from anybody, I need to know. That doesn't happen very often. And then it's repair first, and then replace, only if the algorithm makes sense. Like if it's a $20 part, I mean, we're not going to replace the fridge.
Right.
If it's a major component of an appliance, we're going to replace it. The replacements are going to be of the same efficiency and capacity of the ones that broke. We do color match. We do not match dimension or features. I try to as much as possible, but definitely not dimensions, because sometimes there's like mini trash compactors.
Oh, right.
That aren't the standard size.
Right.
So in that case, the homeowner would do what's called cash out. So Fidelity would send a check, and then they can go get
Whatever they want.
they would or not replace it.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
and forego having a trash compactor altogether.
So,
Or-
are you saying if I still have the 70s avocado kitchen,
Yeah.
we could find a 70s avocado
could.
refrigerator?
Yeah.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
That is pretty amazing.
That's what I had in my house. I had avocado.
I love the bathrooms. We still have there's the pink bathroom set. Like it must have been Sears catalog. You get the
Cannot
pink
remember
bathrooms
what
and green
mine,
bathrooms and
what mine
yeah,
was.
yeah.
But the shower that I had was super small. It was like all tiled in.
Yep.
It was super small.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
No.
those were awesome.
Yeah.
It was just like good old
Yeah.
days. Yeah.
Yeah.
Grandma had the avocado.
Yeah.
The avocado set
Yeah.
from the Sears
Or
catalog.
the chocolate brown.
Oh, yeah, you're fancy if you had chocolate brown.
Was that bougie?
Oh, that was bougie. So, now
so
here's-
sorry. So replacement are going to be same bells and whistles, as much as possible the same bells and whistles, but especially the efficiency and the capacity. Doesn't matter how old the appliance is, like I mentioned earlier, or the system.
a V6 engine is not going to be replaced with a V8.
Correct.
Basically.
Correct, but you can cash out and upgrade. If you've got a simple Simon dishwasher and you want a super quiet, super efficient, way
Yeah.
more efficient than what the replacement option would be.
Or one that tells me my dishes are
by-
done.
yes, yeah. There's ones like that.
That's the new.
I don't need to know that.
Well, what's
Because I'm just
interesting,
gonna
I
have
think,
to
what's
unload it.
the kind of the benefit in talking about that is interesting because as tech gets a bit crazy,
Yeah.
right? The warranties will help you cover it, and you'll actually to have techs that can work on that.
Yeah.
Like even the Samsung fridges now, I think they have that display of what's in the fridge,
Yep.
and all the electronics now. It's like these fancy cars.
Yeah, I don't even think on the brochure.
They have techs. They have the techs that know how to do that.
Yeah,
It's
because
pretty
it's, yeah, you're more like a tech geek as opposed to an appliance repair person.
It's pretty interesting now of how things will go and where tech's going to
Yeah.
go, and the power of the home warranty,
Yeah.
because like you already vetted someone that knows
Yeah.
how to work on this stuff.
Yeah.
Of, hey, here's the brand. Here's it. They already. It's not all right. Let me pull up a YouTube video and try to check it out.
Yeah.
So here's something that was I remember when we were working down the path together was the sellers. A seller's policy.
Yeah.
And so I've started to add that now to my
I
listings.
love seller's coverage.
And
I
so the
love
seller's
it.
policy, I just emailed you, I got a new listing,
Yeah.
and so I just emailed you this morning about, all right, a seller's policy. So why is it good to have a seller's policy if you're selling your house, to find a broker that provides that.
Yeah, so seller's coverage is complimentary standard coverage for up to 180 days, but since I've been on this job, the homes aren't on the market for 180 days unless they're like super duper unique. So standard coverage, if that water heater goes out during the listing period, that could kill a deal.
Oh, definitely. Oh, yeah.
Because the seller might not have the money or might have to wait, or the buyer, wants a tankless as opposed to so there's so many that could kill a deal, basically.
Right.
The home warranty will cover the water heater. We'll cover the dishwasher. We'll cover the stove. None of the a la carte items are included in the seller's coverage, but you just never know what's going to happen, and it could save a deal. It is complimentary. You only have to pay the service fee. There is an obligation to figure out how a buyer's plan is purchased, but that doesn't mean that you have to be the one paying for it. As either side of the agent, it could be the buyer themselves, it could be the seller. So it's a really good tool to get listings, and it's a really good tool to use just in case something happens. And it's water heaters 100% are the ones
That's
that go out.
our fave.
Yeah.
Yep. So, because here's what's interesting that you taught me was that we always, after the inspection, we have a policy in place.
Mhm.
The house goes under contract, we have the inspection,
Mhm.
and now we find a problem.
Mhm.
So the seller's warranty could cover
Mhm.
those issues that come up
Yep.
on the.
Just gotta call me. And then I've got a great story. So, a 20-year-old tankless
Okay. Yep.
on,
They made 'em like that?
on yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
I saw pictures of it. It was pretty crazy, and it was outside the home.
Okay.
So that's one of the caveat things that
Yeah,
were
yeah.
discovered. And
Sorry, we digress.
we digress. Again.
We're aging ourselves.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was a listing and one of my top clients, and we covered it.
That's
And
awesome.
there were some out of pocket costs because it was so old, and there needed to be some modifications.
Okay.
But because it's only complimentary standard coverage.
Right.
And so, but it was easy.
That's awesome.
I mean, and the homeowner was ecstatic
Yeah.
because the buyer that's going to come in, because there was no buyer in play at that time. So, and the listing agent was probably like, oh God, the buyer is definitely going to ask
Oh, of course.
for a new water heater.
Right.
Definitely.
Right.
And now they don't have to worry about that because there's a new one in place.
That's pretty cool.
So that's just one of many reasons why you get seller's coverage.
But that's why I love it. I look at too of you want to put a good product out,
Yeah.
and for the buyers to have a great experience
Yeah.
all the way through. And
Yeah.
so, and also it's a way to protect my sellers.
Yes.
And so it helps to protect my sellers again from any surprises.
Yeah.
Well, and we get to add on top of that, we have what's called Windermere Ready that can provide more funds. Let's say it was a little bigger thing that was found.
Oh.
So there's more, Windermere Ready could actually provide funds, so there's nothing out of pocket. So the warranty
Cool.
and the rest, so it can cover
They've
any
got
repairs that are
multiple
needed.
things to enhance
Right,
somebody to
right.
list with you, and
Yes, yeah. And so like the seller policy, that's something I cover because that just, I know, that's great for my sellers. It's part of the compensation that they pay for. So that, and then I know, all right, this will make a smoother transaction. That's a
Yeah.
really nice conversation. Like
Yeah.
you said, hey, they'll call out the water heater, but guess what? You don't have to worry about it. The home
Yeah.
warranty will cover it. And also there's usually the timeline.
yeah,
There's the time to get it repaired
yeah,
before closing as
Yeah.
well. So
Yeah.
really an amazing little win-win.
yeah. And even if it is something that happens super close to closing, the claim will cross over,
Okay.
and then which has happened a couple times. And then if there's some out of pocket, just a little addendum that if there are any out of pocket costs, then the seller will
Yeah.
pay. But usually we know, unless it's like the 11th hour before closing, usually we know because usually we'll be able to get like a tech out, soon,
Yeah.
and they'll be able to give a diagnosis, and then we will know soon after that if there are any out of pocket costs. So, it's
Yeah.
super smooth.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm glad I have my home warranty,
Yeah.
and the business is growing, and learning, people seeing, brokers, agents, and homeowners seeing the value of it
Yeah. Well,
is growing by the second.
Well, what made, it's for me as an agent, and it's because of the experience, right? We've done this enough knowing, hey, this is a great value for my sellers
Mhm.
to make it a good, smooth transaction. And so that's, again, the differentiation of, hey, having the experience, knowing this is what we provide. It's not an extra cost to the seller. This is what you get when when you sell with us
Yeah.
is all these little layers of protection
Section
to
to make sure that the deal goes
it's
through.
smooth, right? Because moving is stressful and hectic as it is, and negotiating, that's our job.
Selling is
our job is to do that.
that's like a whole. Buying is easy.
Yeah, that's a fun
Selling
part.
is aye.
So the seller, because the seller policy, then we just converted to a buyer policy, and then they now have got a standard policy.
Yeah.
Moving forward.
Yeah, for a year,
So-
and they can renew it. And I love talking to buyers, especially, just any buyer. And I've gotten some really hard questions that have stumped me. But then I just, do the normal thing and say,
Yeah.
you know what, I will find out for you.
Yeah.
Because this,
Yeah.
this industry isn't, It's not boring.
No,
Always
no,
learning.
because you're you're dealing with disasters.
Yeah, I'm not dealing with the fun stuff, but for the most part, things work out and it's a good outcome.
Right.
But just setting expectations that it doesn't cover everything, but you don't know unless you submit a claim.
Right.
And if it's not covered, you're still going to have the diagnosis, which $95 is cheap to get a diagnosis.
Oh, it is. Oh, yeah. Well, some they won't come out for
Less than what, 180, 200?
And even I think the network's powerful because even trying to get someone out anymore is even becoming a challenge.
Yeah.
And so having the network that says, hey, this is what we're committed to,
Mm-hmm.
but if you don't have it, you know 100% is not covered.
Yeah.
But hey, it's a pretty cheap insurance.
Yeah.
Of the just in case.
Yeah.
And then if it's real crazy, homeowners or other things can
That's
kick
a whole
in.
other ball of wax.
Right. But if
Yeah.
there's a way to kind of walk
Yeah.
I think that's a pretty good home warranty, pretty powerful.
It's a cool product. Like I said, in California.
So why do you think I was wanting to come back around that. So California, 90, so give me the stats on that again.
98, 97% on every transaction.
And then 33?
Yeah, 36.
36.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we're 98 in California.
So 98% usage in all of the transactions, 98% of them. Then only, so reps down in, so home warranties originated in California.
Yeah.
So that's where they were conceived.
Right.
So they've been around a lot longer in California.
Yep.
And because California has so many different rules and regulations and protections for buyers and sellers and agents, that a home warranty is a 100% a liability, cover your buns type of thing.
Okay.
So it's, the reps down there, they share counties. I have 4 counties.
Okay.
So they share counties down there.
Because it's so nuts.
Yeah.
Wow. So why do you think we're only at 33% in Washington? Because it seems like by now.
Education, I'm Pete the repeat parent when it comes in my job. I'm Pete the repeat parent. So it's just a matter of educating, and until agent, Joe might think they're not worth it, but he might be representing a buyer and the seller pays for it, and then it'll save the buyer's buns on something, and then Agent Joe will realize the value of it. In California, It's been going on for a long time. People have been seeing the value of it for a really long time, but in Washington, it's slow.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Because when I was first cutting my teeth, years ago, there was a good solid agent. All of her listings always had it, and it's like, oh, okay, what? And then it got to meet you of the power of it. And that's why this house is that much. The buyers going in, the sellers know, hey, we're good.
Yeah.
And then when the buyers come in, they know, all right, some things are covered as well, even if things pop up.
Yeah.
So I think that's pretty amazing. So
Yeah.
I think that's important. Why I wanted to take some time with you is education.
Yeah.
And hey, AI can only teach you so many things, but we've done this long enough now too. Okay, here's what we see is the real world, and just the power of having that home warranty.
Yeah.
And brokers that make sure the buyers have it, make sure the sellers have it.
Yeah.
That's pretty powerful, I think now.
Yeah, and then you wouldn't buy a house and not get house insurance.
Of course. Never.
Right? You wouldn't buy a car and not get car insurance. You kind of have to. So those are very big purchases in your life. So why wouldn't you get another, secondary type insurance for the appliances? Because homeowners insurance does not cover the appliances.
Right.
You're not going to, nor would you want to. The math doesn't math.
Right. The deductibles.
It's just another layer of insurance and protection.
Right.
It's a no-brainer.
That makes sense. Well, thank you so much for taking time. I'm so glad we're able to do this together.
Yeah.
Again, educate our folks. It's we know just the it's just part of the whole team, because I was talking to a lender today of in real estate, to make sure you get a really good product, you really get a great house, it's the full team. So do you have a good lender? Do you have a good broker? Do you have a good warranty specialist, good inspector? And it all works together. It takes that team, and over time, the experience for us to be able to build that team, again, it's really powerful to make sure for our sellers now, this is how they get protected, but also to those buyers of, all right, once they're now living in the house,
Yeah.
all right,
It helps everybody
They're
be a little
protected.
bit more confident
yes,
and
yes.
not stress out about the what ifs.
Especially the first time home buyers, like they
Oh,
haven't had
man,
to, you
those
know,
poor
if we've owned long
first-time
enough, we
home
know,
buyers.
okay, I've got my plumber. Because I still get those calls of, all right, hey, do you know a good HVAC? Do you know a good plumber? Do you know a good, that's what we're here for.
Yeah.
With the warranty, you guys have already vetted them
Yeah.
all, so that's a good deal
Yep.
too. So
Yep.
that makes sense. But
Yep.
so, you need some more information about home warranties? Give Alyssa a call. Give me a call.
I'm
I'll make
your
sure I get you
gal.
connected with Alyssa. Thank you again so much.
Welcome.
All right.